Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is like super different, as you can see from the title. It's not my normal video, but it's probably my most requested non-fitness video ever. Ever since I started like Instagram and even the blog, I got comments asking me what my tattoos are, what they say. And if I'm honest, I purposely haven't filmed this video because up until now, I didn't really want to. I felt that it was very much they were very much my tattoos, and I was on my own journey, and I didn't want to talk about them. But then I was like, well, I put them on my Instagram, and it's really nice that you guys comment on them and that you say lovely things. So I was like, well, if I'm willing to like put pictures up of them, then there's no harm in kind of talking you through them and showing you some of them. Which is what I'm going to do now. So some of them I am going to show you, others I am not. That will become clear why very, very soon. So I have 7 tattoos, but I haven't had a tattoo for about 6.5 years. So I haven't had a new one for 6.5 years. I got my first tattoo as soon as I turned 18, I think. Was I 18? I literally don't remember. And my first tattoo that I ever got is one that I'm not going to show you because it is on my bottom. And you may have even seen it in bikini pictures, to be really honest. It doesn't sound like, you know, the coolest of tattoos, but that to me doesn't really care. My whole thinking about when I got tattoos and why I got them was because A, they had to mean something to me, and B, they had to be in a place that if I wanted to hide them, I could. So the one on my bottom is a butterfly, and yes, okay, so it's not the most, like I say, classy maybe of tattoos, but I love it. It reminds me of my childhood. In my old house, we had this lavender bush at the back of the garden, and there always used to be white butterflies on it all the time, throughout like spring and summer. So I would like run around it and like, you know, chase the butterflies. Although it was always a case of chasing the butterflies and then when they got too close being a little bit scared because they flutter so much. But butterflies are always an insect that I've been mesmerized by, so that is why I got that one. I don't regret it in the slightest. I absolutely love it because it has a meaning and it has a memory attached to it. I then got, I can't remember what came next. I got, I think maybe on my feet. I think my feet came next, and the words on my feet is probably the one I get asked about quite a lot because people are trying to read it. And if you get tattoos on your feet, just be aware that obviously we live in the UK, so we normally have to wear shoes. So as soon as you start wearing shoes on a fresh tattoo, bits of the ink can sometimes fall out. Like I wore flip-flops for as long as possible, but I think I got it done in like September or October, so there was still some cold, rainy days. So it says, "Climb to the heavens on feathers and dreams," and it's a quote or song lyric from a band called Thrice. They're an American kind of like quite heavy metal band, one of my favourite bands, and not necessarily like a band that I listen to new music now of, but a band that I loved for so long. And one of their songs, "Melting Point of Wax," is still one of my favourite songs now, and it's one of my favourite running tracks as well. So yeah, "Climb to the heavens on feathers and dreams," and that for me is just really, really lovely imagery. Somebody passed away in my life, and I wanted, rather than having like a name or something, I wanted imagery for that kind of like floating through life. And like when you go, I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I do, I think somewhere believe in like spirits and things like that. So I wanted to have that imagery of the person like floating and traveling away on a journey of dreaming and lightness. So that was why I got that one. I then have some other lyrics from the same band, as you can tell, I was like a die-hard fan, which I love, and the lyrics are, "We set sail with no fixed star in sight." And this was a time in my life when I was struggling with eating disorders. I was struggling with some mental health issues, and I kept I kept putting like these deadlines and like unrealistic goals on myself, and I actually forgot to just enjoy life as it comes, and to you know, to just go with the flow and see what gets thrown at me and work with that. So the we set sail with no fixed star in sight was very much just to, you know, don't be too set on making plans. By all means make them, but you know, be open to change and be open to just going with it, maybe going along with, you know, other people and just enjoying a ride for a while. And that's what that quote was all about, and to this day I swear by it. I absolutely love it. One of my other ones is a little pansy on my side. Oh yeah, so the writing from before is on the back of my leg, the back of my thigh. A story actually about that before I move on to the pansy. I did actually go to have that removed. Which is why some of the letters don't look so great. My reason for having it removed was not at all to do with regretting it. I was thinking that I would have it removed and have it put somewhere else. Reason being is when it's writing and it's on the top of the back of your thigh, when you're wearing swimwear or wearing shorts in the summer, people naturally, when they see writing and it's a tattoo, they want to read it, and there were times where I felt a bit uncomfortable from people wanting to read basically my bum. So but unfortunately I was one of few people that had a reaction to the lasers that they use for tattoo removal, so I couldn't have it done. It's still something that I would maybe think about in the future, although I'm not quite sure if even, you know, if the technology changes. But for the time being, I'm happy with my tattoo as it is, even though it's missing a few bits. You know, it's all part of a story, right? It's all part of a journey. And then that leads me on to my pansy, like I was saying. So my pansy is to do with my nan. She loved pansies. Her garden was full of them. She was a wonderful, wonderful lady. I don't know why I feel emotional. Like, she's been passed away for years, but it's not often you talk, I suppose, about it. She was so wonderful. So wonderful. She would we'd go around to her house as kids and she'd be like, kitchen's open, and then she'd like pretend that the kitchen was like a cafe and that she made us all fry up. So my nan was awesome, and she loved pansies. And she once said that when we were looking out the window and when the rain hit the petals of the pansy, so it looked like they were dancing in the rain. And because I was a dancer when I was younger, I loved that. I loved what she said. So when she sadly passed away, I had a pansy tattooed on my rib, and then I had Dance in the Rain tattooed on the inside of my arm. And yeah, as you can see, there's a real emotional connection to those tattoos, and with all of mine, I think that it's so important to have that connection, to have a reason for them being there, so that you can't ever regret them. It's like you could maybe look at a tattoo and think, oh, you know, maybe I'd put a line somewhere different, but when you have a memory, an experience, an emotion attached to it, you will never regret it. And then my final tattoo is the big massive one that you see in a lot of my pictures down my side. Yes, it took 6 hours and it hurt a little bit, a lot. It took 6 hours all in one go. I like to think I have quite a high pain threshold. There were only parts that were really bad. And it's like a mixture of things. It's there's a snake in there, there's passion flowers, there's ivy, there's vines, there's like other flowers and bits and pieces, feathers as well. And the idea of that, it was a friend and myself that kind of designed it from another design. Like, we took bits and pieces. And this one for me actually was at a time in my life where I was a little bit lost, and actually I kind of weirdly thought that this tattoo would solve a lot of things. So maybe I got it done at the time for the wrong reasons, but now I love it because it shows me the person I once was and the person that I've become, and how that person, you know, didn't do anything wrong. It was just a journey that I was on, and the reason I chose all the things that are in it because it interlinks to my other ones. So I feel that when snakes, when they move, they kind of dance, and within yoga we kind of dance, which connects to my Dance in the Rain. It has feathers, which connects to the one on my foot. And then these passion flowers, which are kind of like this zest for life, this passion for what I do and to go forward in my life and live it with passion. So yeah, they are my 7 tattoos. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you include the 2 feet separately, but technically they're 1 tattoo. So yeah, I have 6 tattoos. I love them all. I wouldn't change them for the world, because they're part of who I am. And like I say, you could maybe regret something you get done drunkenly on a night out, but I've always put a lot of thought into what I've done. Something that people have always said to me, which I didn't actually do, but I think is a great idea, is draw it on yourself. Obviously check that you like it, like doodle on yourself if you can. And then in 6 months time, if you still love it, or even in a year's time, if you still love it, then get it done. I didn't do that. I did mine all on kind of a bit of a whim, but I still love them, and yeah, they're my tattoos. I can't believe I've finally done this video for you guys, and I basically cried throughout. But I hope that you found this interesting, and if you have any questions about where maybe I got them done, I don't know if all the people that did them are still around, but if you want to know that information, then just comment below, and I will see you soon for another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.